fallout. Alan Colmes is the host of The Alan Colmes Show. David Webb is the host of The David Webb Show on Sirius XM Patriot and a co-founder of Tea Party 365. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here.
Good to see you, Allison.
Alan, let me start with you. Why this about-face by the White House?
Well, obviously he was getting pushback to this. He's trying to please as many people as he can, and there are going to be always people like, I'm sure my friend David in a moment, who will criticize him. He's not going to make everybody happy. Initially, I think they calculated that 77% of women favor this, and 58% of Catholic women, and 98% of women use birth control. He didn't think there'd be political fallout because those people who oppose it would probably not vote for him anyway. But I think he is trying to find a way to make as many people happy here as possible. And it's good that he's listening to and willing to not have an intransigent position if indeed he can help then provide more services to women who really need it.
David, what do you make of it?
Well, that's the argument that goes back and forth and never gets resolved. But let's go to the Constitution on this. The Constitution protects the rights of the individual, or in this case, the organization, prohibiting the government basically telling any religious institution, Muslim, Jewish, or Christian, what to do. The president went past that. This is yet another failure of Obamacare and what comes with it, because this is in effect another form of waiver on top of 1,200 waivers to resolve a problem within it. And by the way, the president may appease his base. He's trying to not look like he had a loss here. But in fact, what he has done is still using blunt force by telling them that we're going to demand insurance companies and companies that are not religious institutions go along with
institutions are not people. And this is a matter of personal conscience.
But the Constitution is the Constitution.
The Constitution does not say institutions are people. In spite of the fact that the Supreme Court and Citizens United said the corporations are people, institutions are not people. People have the right to follow their own conscience.
Sure, but was the White House naive, Alan, to think that this wouldn't cause a firestorm?
Maybe a little bit. Perhaps they were a little bit naive. Maybe they obviously didn't expect the kind of pushback, or they would have had a different plan probably in the first place. But the fact that he's willing to change, willing to try to accommodate, I think it's a positive thing, although he'll be called a flip-flopper by people like my friend here on the left.
You know what? I'm not going to call him a flip-flopper for this. And willing to change, he was not willing to change. He got a lot of pushback on this. And, you know, this is a conundrum, by the way, for the Catholic Church and for others. If you want to get into bed with liberals on certain policies, and now you have to fight them on a policy that goes against your tenets, and it's not just Catholics, but that was the big pushback.
Here's the deal.
That was the forced change on the
but then
president.
don't tax taxpayer dollars. If you are a public institution, place of public accommodation, you employ people of all faiths, you cater to people of all faiths, you take taxpayer dollars, you have to play by the rules. That's the way it works.
I mean, but the new rule or the new accommodation is that no longer will Catholic universities or Catholic hospitals have to provide the birth control free. Now it will be up to the insurance companies. Why wasn't that the starting point?
Really, it should be. I mean, this is really an insurance issue. In fact, the Affordable Care Act, which is the people who deride it will call Obamacare, it's really not health care reform as much as it's insurance company reform, and that's really the issue. And I think this is sure it is. It's all about insurance companies. This is really the focus.
We needed in this country real reform in both health care delivery and insurance. What we got was this Obamacare package that didn't actually resolve the existing problems. And again, 1,200 waivers and now another waiver in form to basically accommodate another group. We're not resolving problems, as you said, Allison. If you have a problem, go to the insurance companies first, come out with that plan. But the Obama administration knows what they're doing. Sebelius knows what they want to do. It's not willing change, it's unwilling change.
And that's
when
why
the Americans object.
The best change would be the John Conyers H.R. 676, Medicare for all, which would give everybody coverage and be single payer. That would be the way to solve the health care problem.
Now that he's come out with this accommodation, does this issue go away on the campaign trail, Alan?
I think it's not going to be as big an issue politically for the president as conservatives would like to have it be, given the numbers, given the number of people who are the people who oppose this would not likely vote for him anyway. I think the fact that he has done what he's done today helps him even further. But this is not going to change the outcome of the election.
But it does hurt him with independents, and this is where what matters. Independents will decide the election, and independents look at this as yet another government intrusion, another government being in the business of telling you what to do, what to buy, how to act. And independents do not like that. They look at the Constitution, they look at the rights of the individual, whether it's corporations or otherwise. The Constitution protects the rights of one individual, regardless of 300 million
Wait a second.
people.
A minute ago, you were saying the Constitution protected institutions. Now you're saying it protects individuals.
No,
the fact is,
it protects the individuals and the actions of an institution like a church
the Constitution
from the government.
pertains to persons, not
No,
institutions.
the rights of the individual.
Persons.
That's the Constitution of the United States.
Well, now you've changed your view from saying it was institutions.
But does this take the steam out of any argument that Mitt Romney or Newt Gingrich or Rick Santorum or Ron Paul could have made on the campaign?
To be fair, I think it wanes after a while and it moves on to the bigger issues because we're still back to the economy and jobs. When 1.2 million people have left the workforce, they're not going to vote on this issue. They're going to vote on whether I have a job or not.
This is an attempt on the right to actually avoid talking about the economy and jobs. As that turning around, they're now taking these social wedge issues that you'd rather focus on now that the jobs picture is getting better.
We can multitask, Alan. We can talk about a lot of issues
but
at any given
that's what we
time.
talked about all week.
This is one
and
of
Mitt
them.
Romney presided over a similar plan in Massachusetts that he inherited as governor and never spoke out against the same plan that Obama originally came up with.
We're going to have to leave it there. You guys have done a good job of multitasking. David Webb, Alan Combs, thanks so much.